Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Rossignol Sushi Wide. I know, right? There's a wide version of a board that's already wide. This board features Rossignol's AmpTech Elite camber profile, which is 80% camber, 20% rocker. So what you get is more rocker in the nose, then you got your 80% camber through the inserts, and then you got a smaller rocker out in the tail. What this is going to do is give you the load, pop, snap, and drive of traditional camber, but then you're going to have that ease of entry as well as more optimal powder float from that rocker. This board is available in two sizes, 144 and 145 wide. I rode this board at Arapahoe Basin in the spring. You had overcast skies with fast moving clouds, which brought in some blue skies. You had wind. You had a layer of dust inside the fresh snow that had just fallen. It was slightly cooler temps, a little bit of chop and chunder for good measure, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. So clearly this has a fully directional flex. I mean, there's like next to no tail, there's a ton of setback. So what you get is a softer nose that's accentuated by that rocker zone. Right where it meets the camber, it progressively stiffens back up to the tail. And the torsional flex is very rigid. A lot of that has to do with the width of this board. You can still twist it and it will have a little bit of snap to it, but it's rigid. Overall, I would say that this comes in around a middle of the road free ride flex. When it comes to stability, for the most part, this board is super stable from inside the front insert back through the tail, but it still retains its liveliness. Now that rocker in the nose will get some chatter, and that will resonate back under the front foot, so you feel it. One of the other things that adds to the dampening of this board is the light frame core. It does a good job of just absorbing those micro vibrations so that they're not seeping into your feet, ankles, and knees, causing you fatigue, which will lessen the amount of time you spend on the hill. All the pop on this board comes from the back foot, so don't skip leg day. It doesn't matter if you load the camber up. When you roll back on what little tail there is, you're basically pushing off the outside of your foot. So what you put into this is what you are going to get out of it. The nose on this board is highly butterable. You've got that rocker zone, the width of it, that softer flex. You can press into this thing and do just about any butter variation. When it comes to the tail, it's non-existent, so you're basically leaning on the outside of your bindings, getting that tail elevated and doing a high-speed wheelie. So obviously, when you go to initiate your turn, you've got all this width up there. If you have a smaller boot, you're going to find this sluggish. If you have a 10 or up, you're not really going to notice that. It's the whole width to boot size proportion. So I have a size 10, so for me it was fairly quick edge to edge. I didn't really have to worry about it. And when you really drive it from inside that rear foot, you can push off the tail by loading that camber up, and that will really let you apex the carve. So lay it over and just rip a trench with it, or set a carve and just swoop from one side of the trail to the other. This board can actually carve for how small it is and for its dimensions. Who's this board for? The resort ripping pow chaser that's in the trees or riding lower angle pow. So did I need to ride this board for a review? No. Did I want to ride this board for a review? Yes. I always have fun when I hop on this board. Nothing's changed on it since the last time I rode it. You still get your cam rocker. It's still easy to float in pow. It's great in tight trees. It's just a fun, short board. Nothing's changed. Nothing's probably going to change in this thing because I know how Rossignol does stuff. I mean, look at their bindings. They're crap. They haven't changed those things in like 20 years. They need to start over. Good thing their boards are dialed in. Comparable boards. The Telos Backslash. The Libtech MC Wayfinder 2. The Nerd Relic. Binding recommendations. The Jones Orion. The Union Strata. The K2 Lean AT. This has been my review of the Rossignol Sushi. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.